Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the 2023 Netflix original film Dream, 2 hours, 7 minutes long, starring Park Seo-joon. We just saw him in The Marvels, which is funny because I didn't plan on a Park Seo-joon marathon. He was in Parasite back in 2019. That was one of the big films that launched him. In the stateside, he's been acting for quite some time. He's an awesome actor. Didn't know he was an athlete, so it was neat seeing him play soccer through all this as well. This is such a well done sports film. It's an underdog story. It's a wholehearted story. I got chills. I got teary eyed at one point. But this is much deeper than just your standard go to, underdog sports kind of film. We talk about self harm. We talk about mental health. We talk about disabilities. We talk about homelessness. We talk about certain aspects in regards to societal standards within Korea, but in general, South Korea, but in general. And the premise of this is that Park's character is this disgraced, if you will, soccer player. And they use the word soccer and football interchangeably throughout this. So he's a disgraced soccer player, right? Just got off the World Cup with his teammates and beat a reporter for disrespecting his mother, things like that, right? So how to show good face, again, in a PR aspect. Well, he's going to be the coach of this homeless league because there's a homeless World Cup kind of a thing. And so it's now a matter of this director and producer is teaming up with him, making him the coach for face value, to better his name, but also to get ratings out of this and then pick the players based on their backstory. So we get a lot of backstory on these characters, like how they came to this homelessness, what happened, where were they prior, but we're talking about mental health, we're talking about self-harm, we're talking about coming out as a gay man in society, what happens when your parents don't accept you, what happens if you are accepted, realizing that it's not your fault, that it's the world's fault for dehumanizing you when there's nothing wrong with you. A lot of these amazing conversations, there's this one assault scene on this woman with a mental disability that Park's character has become friends with, and he then defends her and he beats up the people who are physically hurting her, and it turns out that they were actually high school students. So then it's a question of, did he have the right to attack them in self-defense if they're quote-unquote minors, despite the fact that they themselves were throwing punches and kicking and beating him up, hurting her as well. So it was a whole conversation of what's right, what's wrong, and bringing that face value to it after finding a cell phone video, getting that viral aspect, and then becoming popular again. Now, Park's character is going through should I continue to coach? Should I join the agency again? Things, right? And then having that, having those preliminary matches in Budapest, very cool. Having the Brazilian characters play on their team for a bit, cool. But then having the Korean characters, fighting for themselves and realizing we can do this. We don't need to rely on others. We can do this. We can do this. We're Korea. We can do this. And it was a whole champion kind of moment. And the announcer, screaming in English the entire time was entertaining enough, saying that, there's no chance of them winning, but they've won the crowd's popularity of staying through this fight. Despite all the odds, everything against them, they're still fighting. And then eventually one of the main characters on the team scores a goal, and they still lose dramatically against Germany in that final round. But it's one of those, just because you lose the game doesn't mean you lose the moment, because the crowd is on your side. You have that popular vote, which is interesting. It's an interesting mindset. It's an interesting concept, if you will. And by having that favor, then gaining that brotherhood, gaining that trust, that community, they can help each other then moving forward in different aspects, gaining that aspect of that one character can finally see his daughter, getting the other aspect of it, just different things that they were all discussing throughout it. And then having Park's character go to the World Cup on his own team at the end, being cheered on by everybody throughout the film. It was just so well-rounded, and the Korean song Dream played a few times throughout as the theme song for this film, and then obviously the title of the film. And it was just so amazing. I don't like a lot of sports films. I find them, dare I say, derivative. A lot of them are the same underdog kind of story. But there's certain things about certain ways that sports films are depicted, which I find very interesting. That sometimes they're very predictable. Yeah, they're going to win at the end, but then other times it surprises me. This is a good example of it surprised me. I didn't know where the film was going to go. I didn't think of how deep and dramatic this was going to be either. It was so well put together. It was so well done. I am so impressed with how amazing this actually is. I need everybody to watch it because it was just such a wonderful, different type of lifestyle viewpoint. What do you do in these situations? How do you bring these groups of people together? And what happens next? It's just it was an open conversation about different societal aspects, and I did not expect it, and I absolutely loved it. It definitely took me by surprise. I've said that a few times now. Surprised. I don't get surprised easily. This surprised me. I got chills. I got chills watching this. Also doesn't happen quite often. Amazing. 2023 dream. On to the next review. Mahalo.